I didn't call him because I was afraid of the dark. No. I called him because the silence that night was louder than it had ever been. It pressed against me like a weight. The kind of silence that makes you hear things. Your own heartbeat, the crack of old wood in the walls, the whisper of your breath in a room too empty. And maybe deep down, I just wanted someone, anyone, to answer. Marcus was cold. Quiet. When I first opened the door to him, he barely looked me in the eye. But that night, when he slipped, when my hand brushed his skin, something cracked open between us. Not just desire, not just loneliness, but a longing I hadn't dared to feel in years. 5 winters ago, my husband, Richard, died. And with him, I thought every part of me that could be loved again was buried too. I used to decorate this house for Christmas. Garlands, lights, a tree so bright you could see it from the street. I used to fill the kitchen with music. Richard dancing with me while pasta boiled over. I used to buy flowers every Sunday morning. But after he was gone, everything stopped. The house became a museum. Dust in corners. Curtains drawn. No laughter. No music. Just the hum of silence. I convinced myself I didn't mind. I told myself I liked it. That silence was safer than the sound of a voice I'd never hear again. So I built a life of chores. Laundry. Grocery runs. Dishes scrubbed until my hands ached. A rhythm without joy. But without risk. Safe. Predictable. Until Marcus moved in. He came without ceremony. No call. No long message. Just a text. Is the room still available? 2 days later, he arrived with 2 duffel bags. That was it. No questions about the house. No stories about himself. Just a quiet nod and a closed door. He wore his headphones constantly. Eyes fixed on the ground. Always typing in that little room down the hall. He paid rent early. He didn't cause trouble. On paper, he was the perfect tenant. But there was something about him. About the silence he carried. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't shy. It was heavier than that. Like words had failed him once. Like he didn't trust them anymore. And every time I passed his door, something inside me pulled closer. Curiosity. Loneliness. Maybe both. The storm came one night. Hard, fast, unforgiving. Rain hammered the windows like fists. The power cut out, plunging the house into shadow. I lit candles, each flame trembling as if nervous too. Then, the hallway light sputtered. Buzzing, flickering. Like some broken heartbeat. I hated that light. It always made me feel like the house was haunted. Haunted by memories. By Richard's absence. Barefoot, candle in hand. I walked down the hallway. Every step slow. Every shadow stretching too far. I knocked. 3 soft taps. At first, nothing. And then the door creaked open. Marcus stood there. Shoulders bare. Sweatpants hanging low. Headphones dangling around his neck. His eyes. Shadowed, unreadable, but locked on mine. "Sorry to bother you," I whispered, trying to steady my voice. "The light, it's acting up." I didn't know who else to ask. He didn't speak. Just nodded. Retrieved a small toolkit from under his desk. Within minutes, he was kneeling beneath the light. Focused. Methodical. The candle in my hand cast long shadows over his back. Each muscle taut beneath his skin. And then, he slipped. The puddle by the doorway. His body twisting. A hard thud as he hit the ground. He groaned, clutching his shoulder. I dropped beside him. "Oh my God, are you okay?" Jaw tight. "I'm fine," he muttered. But he wasn't. And when I touched him, when my fingers brushed the bruise blooming beneath his skin, something stirred inside me. Something I thought had died. I insisted on tending to him. Old ointment tin. Cotton cloths. hands shaking as I pressed gently against the mark on his shoulder. He tensed at first. So did I. But neither of us pulled away. And when his eyes met mine, the coldness was gone. In its place, something else. Something raw. Something vulnerable. Have you ever touched someone and felt your soul respond before your mind could? That was the moment. The silence between us broke, shifted. It became alive. After that night, Marcus changed. Not dramatically, not loudly, but the small things. He nodded in the mornings. Sometimes even said, "Good morning." His voice low, gravelly, like he wasn't used to using it. Once, he carried my groceries. And for the first time, I saw him smile. Not wide. Not practiced. Just the corner of his lips. But it lit something inside me. I found myself waiting for the creak of his door. Listening for his footsteps in the kitchen. Cooking more food than I needed. Always leaving enough for two. And when I told him about Richard. About the man I lost. The years I spent frozen. He didn't look away. Didn't fill the silence with empty words. He just said softly, "That must have hurt." And somehow, that was enough. The first time I saw his writing, I felt stripped bare. He spun his laptop around, showing me a short story. A woman with sad eyes. Grief hidden in coffee mugs and empty bottles. He started it the night he moved in. And it was me. Every word. Every ache. Me. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know how to breathe. But when he spoke my name for the first time that night, it unraveled me. From then on, I lingered more. Tea. Music. Excuses. But really, I just wanted to be near him. Until one night, there were no excuses left. The storm whispered outside again. His room dim, shadows curling across the walls. He looked up from his desk. "Can't sleep?" he asked. I shook my head. Didn't want to. And I stayed. No words. Just silence shared. Breaths aligned. Time stretched so thin I thought it would break. The kiss came softly. Not hunger. Not fire. But something gentler. A promise, whispered in the dark. His hands were careful. Reverent. Like he was afraid to shatter me. And when we finally gave in, it didn't feel like sin. It didn't feel like betrayal. It felt like coming home. After, he didn't roll away. Didn't turn his back. He pulled me close. Pressed his lips to my forehead. Whispered, "You're safe here." And for the first time in years, I believed it. The days blurred. Soft rhythms. Secret smiles. Notes on the fridge, "Don't forget your smile." It's my favorite. I wore lipstick again. Cooked too much food. Laughed too loudly. For the first time in so long, I felt alive. And yet, part of me waited for it to vanish. Because how could something this gentle be real? Love doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it slips in quietly. Through a busted light. Through a wounded shoulder. Through silence shared. And if you're lucky, if you're brave enough, you let it in. Have you ever been seen? Not for your past, but for your heart. Because those are the loves that stay. Kindly leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more exclusive contents.